stunning home foreclosure prediction. Tea Party and Occupy Wall Street are one and the same and both right. If you recall those movements from 12 years ago, around the 2010 Obamacare, socialized medicine, the midterms happening then, they were huge clashes because of the great financial crisis there. And really, everyone was saying the same thing. Get out of my life. Get central bankers. Get bankers out of my life. Stop screwing with the currency. Stop messing with laws. Stop ramming things down our throat in the middle of the night and cloture votes. Whatever it is, all fighting for the same thing. The Federal Reserve, central banks, and global elite, through proxies like BlackRock, Blackstone, and other hedge funds, will come in if you can't afford your mortgage or rising property tax payments and offer to buy your home over market value if you use the central bank digital currencies. And again, we have some headlines here from the last year or two about hedge funds buying up homes left and right, buying them away from you and I, and rising the price of them, just like they have been buying bonds for years and years and years and years, really decades, but really the last 12 years, and buying bonds away from all of us. So rising prices, buying them away from the average person, lowering the interest rates. So promoting more debt-fueled growth. This is the system we live in, this asinine system. We will go through an invisible crash or hyperinflationary depression where the cost, or just an inflationary depression, doesn't have to be hyperinflationary necessarily, where the cost of things will go through the roof. And if you hold hard and sound monetary goods and assets, you will see your purchasing power increase. And if you hold fiat currencies, you'll see your purchasing power destroyed and you'll become poor. You can see this, we've gone through these in our other blogs and videos with Bitcoin in contrast and charted against all other assets and currencies, and Bitcoin just destroys them and they go to zero basically over the last 10, 12 years. That's going to continue happening. The hardest monetary asset in the world. You could do it against gold too. It looks even more, it's a lot more, when you do it against Bitcoin, a finite asset, you can see truly it going through the floor and you start really getting the picture of, wow, we are being played on a massive scale. And they will bribe you. And believe me, they will bribe you. I've been reading a lot of the books from Klaus Schwab and some of the elites that are running the system, pulling the puppet strings, and this is what they are talking about. This is not me pontificating. This is their videos. Go to the World Economic Forum site, read their books, these many books, videos, and them talking about what they will do. They're going to bribe you to use their new digital currency surveillance tool. And here's Jay Powell. And he just had a meeting or so last week or two, and this is one from a few months back, talking about the digital dollar, talking about the Fed coin, central bank digital currencies. They are coming. They will implement universal basic income to cover those who don't have enough and try to keep people from uprising, social unrest, which will only exacerbate the inflationary world we're in, making prices more out of control. And so they're stuck between a rock and a hard place. This is the insane game that they have created, the artificial booms and busts of playing with interest rates, trying to, a couple people sitting at a round table trying to figure out the entire free market of tens of hundreds of millions of people and billions of people throughout the world. This is the insanity. This is what Bitcoin aims to stop. This is why the Genesis block of Bitcoin, it was the very first thing put in there, Chancellor on the brink of second bailout. It was all about taking power back for the people, by the people, for the people. The elites will end up owning everything and you will own nothing and be happy. And this is the whole premise of the Great Reset and what Klaus and his gang and the Marxists everywhere are planning and have been planning. One world order, global order, liberal world order. The new things just keep coming out. The masks are coming off. They just said the other day, right? Liberal new world order, liberal world order, the new world order, the Great Reset, whatever it is, it's all the same thing. And this is not hard. This is not impossible to figure out. It just takes a little bit of homework, takes a little reading, takes a few hours of watching videos and going to the right places. You're not going to find it on CNBC. You're not going to find it on Fox News or MSNBC or CNN. You're absolutely not going to find it there. Those places are just hot garbage, and you're just going to be spun into a corner and dizzy at the end of the day. So we have to look in the right places to see what's actually going on and be able to read between the lines. One of the large catalysts, and this is why I believe that we are not going to see the foreclosure crisis that we saw 12 years ago. It's going to be because of social media, actually. 12 years ago, social media was not as prevalent. So people being kicked out of their homes is not a social media phenomenon. But can you imagine the Jones family down the street getting kicked out of their house? And Tammy and Rick are over there. Oh, there's the Jones family getting kicked out of their house, and this can be everywhere. So the minute that starts happening, boom, all of a sudden, just block lockdown. You're gonna have Tea Party, Occupy Wall Street times 100, and that's gonna stop. And I don't know if it'll get to that, honestly, because I think what's going to happen next is what we outlined here above, and we'll talk a little bit more about. But the Tea Party and the Occupy Wall Street movements had it right. They were both fighting the same evils, yet they were told by the media to fight one another instead. They were told, hey, get in the Coliseum, guys. It's right versus left. It's wrong and right. It's red versus blue. It's liberal conservative. No. That's this the shell game. That's to confuse everyone and to divide everybody. Remember, e pluribus unum. Unity. This is the call for everyone. Unity is what the elites do not want. They are absolutely the most scared about unity. We are much more similar than we are different. They were just fighting different sides of the same coin, Occupy Wall Street and the Tea Party. As Robert Kiyosaki notes, always, a coin has three sides, two sides and the edge. Objective, clear-headed thinking comes from the edge. The elites dodged another close one 10, 12 years ago for now, but it's going to come back and bite them. Next time, the people will be so upset with the elites, they will be filming and sharing every single person getting kicked out of their homes, and it will not happen. My prediction, like I said, is that people will not get booted from their homes. There will be foreclosures, but not in the way that you expect. It will be the elites gobbling up homes along with foreign buyers because they own so much of our debt, and there will be no accountability, and it will just transition to a new monetary system of enslavement, the CBDC, the central bank digital currency. This will be how they bribe you and say, well, the people that don't have any assets, we have to give them a way to live somehow. And they create this. This is the arson and the firefighter. We wrote about this months ago. The arson has become the firefighter. And they are coming in and saying, we're going to solve these problems. Yet they're the ones that create the problem. So why in the world, insanity, the definition is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. Why in the world will we not change, do something else? At least give yourself a life raft. Mind-blowing. Absolutely mind-blowing. We have an accountability and responsibility problem in this country. This will be the end of private home ownership and private property, or at least just the very beginning and already halfway down that road, because we'll have 60% home ownership now or just above. We'll probably have about 50% in the next 10 to 20 years, especially if this happens and really speeds up. We will live in a renter nation controlled by the state. This will truly be the end of America. Life, liberty, pursuit of happiness, pursuit of property. That's what the founders wrote about, is pursuit of property. And they broadened it a little bit more to say happiness, because it was property of all things. The abolishment of all private property. So the end of America is the abolishment of all private property, as desired by Karl Marx in the Communist Manifesto. And that was one of his first tenets in there. Really, the biggest one was getting rid of private property. Because if you control everything, then the people, the proletariat doesn't have any say. They can't do anything. So it doesn't matter. I mean, you got to get rid of that private property from the people. Then you can really mess with them. Student loan debt will also get canceled. It's talking about getting rid of and canceling things with no accountability or responsibility. Student loan debt will also get canceled. I predicted this 10 years ago when Obama moved the loans to the federal government. And I might have an old blog article. I started another blog about 10 years ago. And I might have one there. I should try to go look and pull that up. However, this is going to happen, and the free college education and all these things, which devalues the college education, as we've seen. You go into debt, more and more people have education, and because everyone's just thrown into college for no reason, and then all of a sudden you have to get higher degrees now. You have to get master's degrees, and you got to go to law school and med school now just to try to get ahead, because now everyone's got it. It's just like having an advanced high school degree, basically, undergraduate degree is. So what's the point? The only chance this doesn't happen is if a libertarian, conservative type libertarian, and a real liberal, a liberal with the real sense of the word, a classical liberal type gets elected at some point, a libertarian, common sense minded person. That's the only way that this changes. Probably for 10 to 20, 30 years over and over, just and rooting out all the garbage in the system. But I doubt they will. As I say, if your vote counted, you wouldn't get to vote. And as Joseph Stalin says, just to remind everyone, who killed about 6 to 10 million of his people, it matters who not votes, but who's counting the votes. And if that isn't time-tested, wow, an impression for what we're going through now, real leaders would come up and implement reality. But pain would be so great for a few years to clean out the mess, like a forest fire, readying for new growth. However, it will be much better and abundant on the far side if we can get to that. However, the electorate will not be able to take it. They'll end up voting again next election cycle for people who give them free stuff, and that will be the end of it all. The allure of free things is just too great. This will just increase the long-term pain in lieu of short-term liquidity injections to the arm. Short-term help the debt addict. Bitcoin is the outside chance that a parallel system is built to escape like a life raft from the Titanic. Might be worth owning just a little bit in case. Not financial advice, not advice on anything, but merely years of study and taking the elites at their own words, most importantly. Be prepared because what you're about to see, I believe, this decade will astound you. I have no idea if I will make it out alive. I have no idea if my businesses will succeed or my portfolio will make it to see the smoke clearing and the total abundance in the backside of this we'll have in 10 to 20 years' time. I have hope, though, that I'll make it through, and I have hope that my study and my preparation will pay off. However, I don't have the answers to everything. I only have hope, faith, and hard work. My only wish is that merit and truth reassert themselves into the market so good actors, good families, good businesses, and good investors will get to flourish once again. May God help us all. May God save the Republic. If you like these videos, these blogs, please like and subscribe. Please share them with anyone you think might agree with them, disagree with them, but please leave your feedback and what we can improve, what you would like to see. I appreciate your time, your attention, your energy. It's the most important thing we have, truly. And I love doing this. This is some of my favorite stuff, and I feel that it's so important to have these discussions about what is truly going on in the world, basic fundamental principles. Because at the end of the day, so much of our life in culture right now is band-aids on bullet holes, and it's just slapping short-term, arson is the firefighter type tactics, slapping on little remedies, little short-term fixes, and we just hope that little injection is going to keep getting us, and it never is. 2 + 2 = 4, and that's never going to change, no matter how many people want to disparage it or cancel people or change math or whatever. 2 + 2 is always going to equal 4. Nature's laws are nature's laws, regardless. So I appreciate your time spending it with me and this community. Please, please, please share, like and subscribe, and let us know what you like and don't like. And I appreciate your time, your energy. Like I said, it's the most important asset we have. We appreciate you spending it here. And we'll see you on the next one. P.S. If you want to see any other videos, we've done a lot of these in this last couple weeks, the last month or two leading up to this, kind of a timeline of what's going on. Please go back and check those out as well. And there's going to be a lot there in the blog and YouTube to find out what's been going on, making sense of it all, not going crazy. See you on the next one.